Hello and welcome to Beyond the Classroom, a closer look at those here at Windermere Prep. I'm joined today by Mr. Jamie Schnack, high school math teacher. Mr. Schnack, how are you doing today?
I am absolutely wonderful, Mr. Gass.
Good, good. Let's start at the beginning. Where were you born?
I was born in Norristown, Pennsylvania.
And where did you grow up?
Suburbs of Minneapolis.
What elementary school did you attend?
I attended 3 of them. The first one in Pennsylvania, I have no idea what it was called. I only went there for half a year. Went to Glen Lake Elementary till end of 4th grade, and then I went to Meadowbrook Elementary for 5th and 6th.
And where were those schools, the last school in particular, where was that located?
That was located in the town of Golden Valley, Minnesota, which is a western suburb of Minneapolis.
Golden Valley, Minnesota. Is that close to the Vikings training camp?
It's about 15 minutes north of there.
Did you have a childhood hero growing up?
I don't think there was anyone in particular, probably my parents, my grandparents. No media figures, no Lindsay Lohan is my hero or anything like that. But it was just the people around me, the people that taught me who to be a good person.
Okay. What high school did you attend?
I attended Hopkins High School, which was ironically not in the town of Hopkins, but the neighboring town of Minnetonka, which had their own high school called Minnetonka High School.
Right. What was high school life like for you?
I was a nerd athlete, pretty much. Very studious, but at the same time I was always in the gym. I was varsity wrestler, but at the same time an academic state champion wrestler. So I rolled with the athlete crowd and what you would probably call the dorky crowd.
Any other activities that you participated in high school?
Up until probably end of sophomore year, I was a part of our school television station. We had a full broadcast studio, editing equipment, full 9 yards, ran public access TV shows. And I was in the Boy Scouts. And really it was wrestling for me.
How much time do you think you dedicated to academics when you were in high school?
Not as much as I should have, but enough to get A's and B's. Probably could have been straight A's if I would have worked a little bit harder. Looking back, I wish I would have.
But it's high school.
Absolutely.
You got to enjoy the time.
Yeah, and I did well. I knew what I needed to do, and I did it.
What other activity, well, actually, let me ask it another way. Did you have any jobs when you were in high school?
I did have a few jobs. My first job was working at Toys R Us in the stock room. Wonderfully horrible job, if you ever want a bad job. My other job was waterproofing basements for my uncle's company, so it was a lot of manual labor, hauling dirt, shoveling rocks, pouring concrete, working concrete, working on my suntan, things like that.
Kind of a good job to have for sports.
Yeah, absolutely. Kept me in great shape over the summer.
Right. Where did you attend college?
I went to 2 colleges. I got my undergrad degree from St. John's University in Minnesota, and that's about an hour and a half outside of Minneapolis, middle of the woods. If you follow football, home of the winningest football program in ever.
That's
really.
right.
So that's pretty cool to be a part of. And then I got my teaching license and master's degree from the University of Minnesota.
Any college memories that you have that stand out?
I joined the rowing team my junior year, and I joined to meet girls. It's kind of sad, but I joined to meet girls. There were 10 girls to every 1 guy. Pretty good odds for a guy to meet a girl, and I actually met my wife on the rowing team.
Well, that was my next question, is did it work?
It worked great.
Good, good. What was your first job out of college?
First job out of college would have been during grad school. I worked at Nordstrom selling men's clothing and men's shoes at the Mall of America.
Any particular reason why that didn't stick?
I didn't really like working nights and weekends, and I was going to school to be a teacher. So.
What's your connection to Florida?
David Becker. David Becker is my connection to Florida.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I met Dave Becker in an IB training. He was late. He was the old guy stumbling in, and there was an open seat next to me, unfortunately, and I kind of said, oh, who is this guy sitting down next to me? And he ended up being a great guy. I stayed in touch with him over the course of the years, and there were openings down here, and next thing you know, here I am.
So that's ultimately what brought you to Florida.
That is
was
what brought me
Mr.
here.
David Becker.
Mr. David Becker.
Well, I'll have to take that up with him
I know,
later.
it's his fault. And then, of course, I have some family in Sarasota nearby, too.
Tell me about your role as a coach.
I have coached a few different sports. Most of them are probably what you would consider to be non-traditional sports. My first coaching experience was rowing in Iowa. I helped coach at the University of Iowa for a year, and I also coached youth wrestling for many years. I coached junior high wrestling and also high school wrestling over the course of 6 or 7 years. And coming down here, no wrestling. School doesn't have a rowing team. Can't wrestle anymore anyways, but I love golf. I love coaching, so I started working with the golf team down here, and it's been a great way to interact with the kids outside of school. It's a lot of fun.
How'd the team do this year?
You know, they were okay. We sent one guy to the state tournament. They were second academic state champions as a team, and you know the girls were kind of mediocre. We had the overall state champion golfer, and the girls' team won state overall by a couple strokes. So you know, mediocre.
Right. Yeah. Nothing all that special.
And it was only their third time in 3 years winning.
Sure.
So.
So, Mr. Schnack, let me ask you, what is your favorite part of each day?
My favorite part of each day depends on the day. If I get to go row, that's definitely a high point in my day. It's a couple times a week. Probably seeing my wife every day is nice. And otherwise, if those two don't top the list, probably just seeing kids start to understand math. Yeah. When that light bulb turns on and they go, oh, that's not so bad.
Any particular activity that you and your wife enjoy?
We like camping. We don't camp as much as we would like to, but we both do enjoy it. And we just like relaxing. Nothing real high stakes, high stress, just very low key.
That seems to be the general theme with everyone that I've talked to here on Beyond the Classroom, is just relaxing.
You know, being around high school kids all day, it's an important thing to do.
It is. It definitely is. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
In an old dusty mirror. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Hopefully not in that same old dusty mirror.
Unless we're standing next to each other. Right?
Then that would be okay.
Hopefully I'm still here. Hopefully I'm still at Windermere Prep. I would love to have a long established career here. Hopefully with my wife and some kids with me, kids in the school. Yeah, we'll see. You never know where that road's going to take you. I never thought I'd be here in Florida. So just 1 year at a time, one day at a time.
Well, I know I can speak for myself, and also from what I hear in the hallways here at school. We're glad to have you, Mr. Schnack. So thank you for taking some time out of your day to talk with us about your life beyond the classroom.
Oh, sure. Excellent. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.